and welcome back to the Midnight Bookshelf, or welcome. You should know that the bookshelf's been closed for a while. It's been a hard few months, and especially this month, but somehow this month has been probably the hardest, and it's made me miss seeing you even more. So I decided to open the bookstore again tonight, and I'm really glad you stopped by because I missed you, or I've been longing to meet you. My name is Mary Midnight, and I'm the owner of this cozy corner, this quiet place. How are you today? Thank you for trusting me and sharing. Well, I hope that we can spend some time together tonight. Would that be okay? Would that be okay? Would that be okay? Would that be okay? Is it okay with you? Is that alright? Is it alright if we spend some time together? Is it okay? Is it alright? Okay, okay, okay. Is it okay? Oh, we have a four-legged friend staying here tonight. So, if you hear any scratching or licking or sniffing, just know that is her owning the bookshelf like the queen that she is. Okay, well, let's open a book together, shall we? Do you like it too? Do you like it too? Tonight's reading comes from a collection of poetry called Musical Tables. It's called Musical Tables, and it's by poet Billy Collins. I read this in one sitting, and it made me giggle. And like I said, it's been a really tough time lately, and I'm very grateful for this collection. I think it's gonna be one of those special ones on my shelf. It was the first night where I could fall asleep really easily, and it'd been a while since I was just able to go to sleep. So I'm gonna read these to you, and maybe they'll ease you into sleep as well. Musical Tables by Billy Collins. And this one is called AA, but it's important to know it is an uppercase A and a lowercase a. At school, all we seemed together, capital and small, parent and child, holding hands, about to cross the street in Alphabet City. Dog. This one is dedicated to Maple. When she runs in her sleep, eyelids twitching, legs churning sideways on the floor, I wonder if she's chasing a squirrel or being chased by an angry farmer waving a rake. An exultation of frogs. I know it's supposed to be larks, but their full-throated croaking early this rainy morning after a night of more rain is lifting me slightly off the floor. Last to leave the party. In your white dress, You revolved around me like the moon, and I like the earth. I was spinning, tilted back on my own axis. On a personal note, I once fell in love with someone when I was talking to them, and they were wearing a white t-shirt, like a white undershirt. And I knew then. I'd like to read it again, but replace dress with t-shirt, if that's okay with you. In your white t-shirt, you revolved around me like the moon, and like the earth I was spinning, tilted back on my own axis. Thanks for letting me do that. Mute potato. Before introducing it to a pot of boiling water, I caught a medium-sized Idaho potato staring up at me with several of its many eyes. I think it's so silly. Breaking up. Like the pneumatic dollar I passed to the cashier behind the register. You are off to other hands. Twisting time. I am twisting again, but not like I did last summer, or the summer before, or the summer before that. I am twisting more slowly now, because it is cold, and I have grown heavy, and there is hardly any wind. I guess they're not all very chill, okay? A memory. It came back to me not in the way a thing might be returned to its rightful owner, but like dance music, traveling in the dark from one end of a lake to the other. "4 minutes and 33 seconds" by John Cage. As I listened, as I listened, the scales fell from my eyes. This one is very silly and I like it a lot. Quatrain. When a woman in a low-cut blouse walked by, the grocer in the doorway raised his eyebrows, revealing the 4 lines in his forehead. So clever. Charmed. The tiny figures on your bracelet ride around one wrist, while on the other, the hours circle your pulse. Avoidance. When I saw him walking toward me in the city, I stopped and looked in the window of a store that had closed. Turned out, it was only someone who looked like him. But all the way home, I wondered where in the world he could possibly be. The student. She made asterisks next to the passages she liked, little stars that kept shining after she closed the book. That was our last poem, but I thought I would read the afterword with you because it's quite beautiful and I feel very similarly. I wanted to share it. Afterward, when did my fascination with small poems begin? Maybe with nursery rhymes, but surely by high school when I was introduced to haiku. Later, I started finding them in the work of some of my favorite living poets, like Gary Snyder, Ron Padgett, Kay Ryan, and recently Charles Simic. I loved the suddenness of small poems. They seemed to arrive and depart at the same time, disappearing in a wink. These days, whenever I pick up a new book of poems, I flip through the pages looking for the small ones. Just as I might trust an abstract painter more if I knew he or she could draw a credible chicken, I have faith in poets who can go short. Small poems are drastic examples of poetry's way of squeezing large content into tight spaces. Unlike haiku, the small poem has no rules except to be small. Its length, or lack of it, is its only formal requirement. The small poem is a flash, a gesture, a gambit without the game that follows. There's no room for landscape here, or easeful reflection, but there is the opportunity for humor and poignancy. And this minimalist practice has its masters. Here's A.R. Ammons. Their sex life. One failure on top of another. And a forlorn one-liner by W.S. Merwin. Elegy. Who would I show it to? Compared to the ocean liner of Milton's Lycidas, Merwin's single line is a canoe, but there it remains, untippable, floating on the lake of a page. At some point, I began to think of the small poem as its own distinct form, and I started making my own little contributions to the genre. I finished that just in time. I'm starting to feel sleepy. Last month I've found a lot of things that help me and make me feel a lot better. And I thought I'd share some with you in case maybe you're also stuck and could use some small things to make everything feel like it's gonna be okay. For one, I started making my bed every morning. I'm really bad at keeping my room clean, but doing this has really helped me stay organized and on top of straightening it up. My room has been clean for going on a month now. That's the longest I have ever kept my room clean. I'm really proud of myself. So I make my bed and then I immediately open my blinds when I wake up. And it has been the best advice I've been given right now as of late. I put my clothes away and that makes me feel good. It makes me feel successful. Like, yeah, you're keeping it clean. Good job. Let's see what else. I'm spending time with friends more. Makes me feel better. I love Bluey, so I'm watching Bluey. It just makes me giggle. Sometimes it makes me cry, but it's still nice. I'm being creative. I actually am working on a collection of poetry myself, and it's coming along really well so far. I think it'll be done maybe in the next 3 months. We'll see. I'm getting it out pretty fast. There's a lot going on, so there's a lot to get out to. I'm trying to read more, which is helping. And I'm just trying to stay on top of small things I need to be doing daily. Staying on top of things, yeah. Thanks for listening to me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our time together tonight. I hope you enjoyed the lovely collection of poetry we read together. A friend of the bookshelf is a friend of mine, and I thank you, and I hope to see you again. I'm sure you want to get some sleep before the sun comes up, so sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. You are loved.